Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt. On the radio, on Facebook, on YouTube, on talklawradio.com. Today I have with me Stetson Honey, attorney for Marquardt Law Firm. We're going to be talking about real estate titles and probate and how to secure your home. This is where I help you discover your legal issue blind spots by listening to me talk about the law on the radio. So Stetson, you went from real estate to estate planning and probate attorney. What lessons from real estate title law do you use every day?
I would say most often is making sure that usually the individual's home is taken care of for how it's to pass upon their death, whether it be, as part of a trust-based plan, will-based plan, or just a transfer on death deed or something of that nature. I've seen it on the other side when things like that aren't done, and so it's nice to be on this side to try to get ahead of it.
Right, make sure everything's in order.
Right.
So that you can make the real estate title attorney happy.
Correct, yes. Yeah, make the underwriters happy and everything like that.
Speaking of making people happy, let's get to know you a little bit better so the listeners know who you are. You're not just an attorney with Marquardt Law Firm. You're from Abilene, which most people would say is a small town. You left country living for the big city in San Antonio, so we want you to tell your story. You grew up there, and so I wondered what drives the economy in Abilene.
So in Abilene, we're home to Dyess Air Force Base, which is really, really beneficial to Abilene's economy, in my opinion. But outside of that, it's a real agricultural-based community, so there's a lot of that also. Those, in my opinion, are the two top drivers.
And so how did you get interested in the law? Why didn't you become a farmer or go into the Air Force?
Well, I didn't become a farmer because my family does not own enough land, and I didn't join the Air Force just because I just never really, I guess I never really considered that option, to be quite honest with you.
What are some of the paths that you didn't take?
Well, I wanted to be an optometrist initially. That changed about, a year or two into my undergraduate studies, and that's kind of how I wound up here. I studied political science, and going to law school is kind of the natural course when that's your major.
Yeah. Tell us about your family. What do y'all do for fun?
Well, so I have a wife and one daughter, and we have two dogs, one of which we're really struggling to potty train right now. She's a puppy. And for fun, honestly, we just like to do anything together. So long as all three, or now all five of us, if you include the dogs, are together, we're happy.
Cool. Outside of the office, sometimes you and I play golf.
Yeah.
Tell us about your golf career.
Well, I've played golf a majority of my life, played through high school. I did play in college for a short stint. It's one of my favorite things about it is it's something that I can play for my entire life. I don't have to be in great shape for my whole life to play golf and to play well.
Yeah, well, you are a great golfer. I know you don't like to brag about it, but you're better than me. So you've been working with me and the other attorneys at Marquardt Law Firm for almost 2 years now. What do you like about working at Marquardt Law Firm?
To be honest, it's the people. It's it's just really close-knit. And I know the clients can tell, but that's really my favorite thing, is the people.
Great.
I mean, you can do the work anywhere, but the people aren't going to be the same anywhere.
Right.
It's the people.
Cool. Thanks for saying that. Since you started working with us, what are you most proud of?
Honestly, with probate or estate planning, either one, people are just really grateful at the end of it. Even if it were an ugly probate or something like that, when it's done and it's just lifted off their shoulders, they kind of just release a breath. And I do too.
Yeah.
It's pretty rewarding, in my opinion, in that aspect.
Yeah. So you're proud of the way that you help them overcome those situations.
Yeah.
That's cool. What do you think is next in your professional development or development as a professional?
I think ultimately, in this particular field, I would really like to become board certified someday. I would like to get to that level.
Yeah, that's a good goal to have. What's one thing listeners would be surprised to learn about you?
Oh man, I don't know. I've never been on an airplane. That surprises a lot of people.
Yeah, it does. That's cool. Well, we're here talking with Stetson Honey, attorney with Marquardt Law Firm. We're going to get into the hidden legal issue blind spots in real estate and probate. If you have a question, you can call us right now on Saturday, May 16th, 2026. You can call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867 and ask a question about real estate, about probate, about wills, trusts, or lots of other things. We'll try and answer your question live on the air. So I mentioned when we first started this that you went from real estate title attorney to probate and estate planning attorney. Tell us what being a real estate title attorney is like.
Well, it's looking at a lot of documents, which any attorney role arguably is. But for instance, what I did, I not only did the title search and all of that, but we also performed closings. So it was really, you kind of see it from inception all the way through closing a lot of times. Now, we didn't work the files in between. The escrow officers would largely take care of that. But yeah, I've seen all sides. I don't know. I've come to understand it's not super common for attorneys to perform closings within title companies typically, but we did. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of unique. In my understanding, that's kind of a unique attribute to Abilene, is what I've come to understand. So.
What's important about title insurance and title closings?
Well, I would say that everybody needs title insurance for sure. And it's kind of like any other insurance. When you decide or when you realize that you need it, when you don't have it, it's just far too late.
And what does it cover? What is it insuring against?
So really ensuring against, that there are no adverse claims to the property, there are no other owners claiming to own it. Any liens that were on it previously, those are required to be cleared prior to closing. Things of that nature. We want to make sure, if there were a probate somewhere or maybe an intestate estate, that all of that was handled, and that, if we need heirs' signatures, that you've got them.
Right. So even before you started doing a lot of probate working with us, you were already seeing sort of the mistakes in the chain of title
Mm-hmm.
When somebody passes away.
Right.
Why don't you describe that? How does a title attorney find that? How do you discover that there's a problem?
Well, you start by performing the search.
Let me ask it this way. Where is my title to the property that I own?
Well, it's in the real property records. It's really not like, you could argue that your deed, your physical deed, is some form of a physical title. In my opinion, it's really not. Real property is not like a car or anything like that. It's through a recording system. That's how everything is kept track of.
And so my deed is just a link in the chain of title.
Essentially, yes.
And that's how you would discover that there was a problem after somebody passed away, if there's a broken link or a missing link.
Yeah. We look at the vesting deed is what we call the most recent conveyance. Oftentimes, hopefully, it's the record title owner that we're looking for. But yeah, that's where we would start to determine, is the individual listed as grantee on this vesting deed? Is that who we have selling the property now? Most of the time, yes. Sometimes, no. So you kind of figure it out from there.
What's the difference between a title search and a title opinion?
So a title search is kind of, at least in my opinion anyway, is just the act itself of, pulling deed records, pulling, any liens that are out there, any encumbrances, any easements that may be on anything affecting the property, pulling the documents. Whereas the title opinion is actually, I guess, the product of the search, really. It's an attorney kind of putting down on paper, hey, here's current owners, here's all the documents we found that affect title or marketability of title, and a good title opinion will provide advice on how to clear title if there is an issue, if there's a cloud or anything like that.
I had a client one time bring me the Schedule C, I think, where it has deficiencies in the title, and I helped them clear up those things. What had happened is that my client's father filed these things that were a cross between a power of attorney and a deed, and he would get his relatives to sign their interest over to him on this Frankenstein power of attorney deed, and the title company said that it wasn't a deed. And so all that work that he did on his own without the advice and counsel of an attorney was wasted. And so we had to go back and redo all of that. And in between time, people had been scattered and lost.
Sure.
And there was this homeless person in Arizona that we had to track down. Thank goodness he had a P.O. box. And so I sent him a letter and said, look, we'll pay you $100 if you sign this deed. And the family went to Arizona to make sure that it was signed. It was the best $100 they ever spent.
I'm sure.
It wasn't a very valuable property. It was an undeveloped lot. My client was just tired of paying property taxes on something that they couldn't use.
Right.
And so it was worth it to pay an attorney to get all this cleared up. This is Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt here with Stetson Honey, attorney at Marquardt Law Firm, talking about real estate law. We're going to be talking about probate law. And stay tuned after the break because I have a really cool Sinners and Saints story for you. Be right back.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Most families don't realize they have hidden legal blind spots until it's too late. Wills, trusts, Medicaid planning, even protecting a business. These are the kinds of issues attorney Todd Marquardt helps uncover before they become problems. Todd is the host of Talk Law Radio, where each week he guides listeners through the legal challenges families, veterans, and business owners face, while showing them the practical steps to protect what matters most. Catch Talk Law Radio, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 6:30 a.m. The Word, and now in Houston on AM 1070 and 103.3 FM The Answer, or anytime on YouTube. Planning isn't just about documents. It's about peace of mind, security for loved ones, and building a legacy that lasts. Don't wait for a crisis. Do it before you die.